Good morning, people of YouTube. It's Travis and Bridget again. It is Saturday, August 13th. We are headed to another trail today. This one is actually called Middle Prong Trail. It's one of the better trails that we've done so far. It's definitely more popular. And I think you'll enjoy this one a lot better. We actually last week hiked another trail, Turkey Pen Ridge Trail. We've got that on video for you to look at. That was my first attempt at a YouTube video, and you'll be able to tell pretty quickly that I am an amateur. It's about an hour long, way too long. So this one we're gonna try to make shorter. We're gonna try to put some shorter clips into it. So I did learn a lot from last week, so we'll see if this one turns out any better. But just want to let you know, if you are looking for some information on what these trails in the Smoky Mountains on the Tennessee side, how they look, so that you can figure out if it's a trail that you want to hike, this is definitely the place to go. That was one of the things that we were having an issue with. We couldn't find a lot of good information. So anyway, this is the place to go. Well, I won't say the place, it is a place to go, but we're going to try to show you this particular trail today. Its round trip from where we're going to go is about 8.2 miles, so it is the longest trail that we've done. I did have a little difficulty with it last time, so we're going to hopefully this time we've been hiking more and it won't give me as many problems. But that last mile and a half, my legs were bothering me quite. So this trail does have a waterfall at the end, which is pretty cool. It's a much wider trail than the one we did last week, and I think you'll enjoy this one a lot more. It's a lot more popular. And before I forget, on every video I'm going to try to do this, hon. When you get a second, pan around and show the bear cave up here. I'm going to try to slow down. We'll see if there is a bear in the cave today. And as usual, it's not. Just kidding. That's our inside joke that my wife hates. I've been doing that for 30 years now, and she just cannot stand it. But it's still funny to me every time I do it. So, but anyway, this trail that we're going to do today is much wider. It's got a lot more people that travel it. It's more popular. It does have a waterfall at the end, which is very nice. There's people that come up here and trout fish a lot. There's a stream that goes up almost the entire way. So, oh, and there's some other things in that we watched another video that we found. The gentleman called the Smoky Mountain Hiker, I think is the name of it, or Tennessee's Mountain Hiker. He has some videos, and he showed several spots to stop, and we'll show you those as we go, and we'll try to tell you how far into the trail as far as miles. But anyway, as we get up here, I'll show you where to go driving wise, and then we'll cut back in when we get to the trail. All right, so we're back. Here is where we're coming up to the Y, the Townsend Y, so the road will split. If you go to the left, it'll take you back towards Gatlinburg. The right takes you towards Cades Cove, and that's the direction we're going to be going. But the reason I wanted to film this is when we first started coming up here to hike, we didn't really know where we were going to go. I mean, you could look up based on like Google Maps or something like that, but that doesn't always give you the clearest picture of where you're headed. So this particular trail that we're going to, there's a few actually located here, but it's in an area called Tremont. And so as you go through this area here, are we turning? I think this is it. I almost missed it because it's a really quick turn. The good thing is it's very close as far as a trail to go to. You don't have to drive as far, at least coming from the Maryville-Alcoa area where we are. And then we'll film here for just a few more minutes. I just want to kind of give you an idea of like what this looks like. We're going to come up to a little parking area shortly for another trail that'll be on the right. That's probably, I think, maybe the first trail that we did this year, and it's West Prong, which wasn't too bad. It's more of a hike through the woods, and then you end up at a campground area. You do have to go through a water crossing to get there, so I would recommend taking some water shoes or some older shoes you don't care to get wet. But hiking with wet shoes is no fun, so maybe some water shoes you can just throw in your backpack when you go. But that one will be up here shortly on our right. And then the other piece, though, that I really wanted to focus on is that the area we have to drive to get to the trail that we're going to hike today, it was a little confusing because we'd never been up here before. Of course, we hadn't talked to anybody. We were just kind of looking on the map, and it didn't look that difficult on the map. So as you drive up through here, you're going to see very quickly that it goes from like a nice paved road we're on now to a gravel road. And we almost had that thought of, oh my gosh, where are we at? Is this like the right way, or are we about to pull up into someone's driveway, or what? But that is the correct route. But I just want to make sure you see the difference here in a minute. And I'm probably filming way too much, and you can fast forward through some of this because I can't really remember how far it is before we get to that point. In my memory, it doesn't feel like it was that long, but it may actually take just a little bit longer to get here. So we're going to pass over this little bridge here, and then I believe the parking for this first trail will be coming up very, very shortly. You get a couple of places like this, it's a pull-off, and I keep thinking that's where it's at, and it's not. There's actually like a little block building up here on the right. And the other thing, I think with this being the first trail we had done, the signage on West Prong was not that clear. It's actually part of another trail. So we had to ask somebody that works up here. So I think right across from where this particular trail is and parking lot is Tremont. So they've got a facility over there. I don't know that much about it. Believe it or not, we've lived here all of our lives and we just don't, it's not a place that we've been to. Maybe that's something that we'll do and get a little bit more information on. And I know that there's some people that live in this area that know it like the back of their hand, but we really don't. So we just want to make sure that when people come up here, they know where they're supposed to go, what it's supposed to look like, the parking area that they're supposed to be, and make sure they're getting on the right trail. Because like I said, we figured it out, and I think most people can. But you know, if you're going out on your first hike and you really you just don't know where you're supposed to go, I mean, it can be a little scary. Some people enjoy that, and other people don't. We're one of those that we don't. We kind of like to know what we're getting into. And so today, when I film the trail, I'm going to do smaller video clips so the overall video is not as long. The one we did last week, which I said was Turkey Pin Ridge Trail, which is up on YouTube, that video ended up being about an hour long, and that's just way too long. Nobody wants to watch that. And it is pretty funny, some of the things that, you know, I said and filmed. But anyway, if you get a chance, that's something that you can watch and at least fast forward to see what the trail looks like. I believe right here is actually where you go to park. That's for West Prong. There's a little bit of parking there, and over across to our left, that is a little bridge area. I think that goes back towards Tremont. That's where we thought that we may have messed up and needed to go. And as you can see, we went from a really nice, smooth, paved trail. Now we've hit a not so nice pave, and now we've hit gravel. So that's when I thought maybe we had made maybe we should have made a left-hand turn back there, but that is not correct. So this is the right way to go. You just stay on this. It will take us a little while to get there, so we're going to cut this off, and then we'll catch back up as soon as we get up here to the parking area, and I'll show you that. All right, just to let you know, it's been about 5 minutes or so, and we are still going on this gravel road, so don't panic as you drive up through here. It is actually a pretty scenic drive. There's a nice mountain stream over to the left that you can see most of the way, and I think that's one reason this particular trail up here is so nice, and it's probably one of the more popular, is because you do have the mountain stream. We're about to go over a one-lane bridge over here, so you do need to pull over and let oncoming traffic come through here. But anyway, we'll catch back up here in just a minute once we reach the final parking area. So we're coming across another one-lane bridge So we just got to make sure nobody is coming this way. We've been passing quite a few people, so I'm assuming people got up here much earlier. And as you pan over to the right, you can see the stream. It's pretty nice. I mean, this is really just such a relaxed area. But if you've not been up here before, which we had not until we hiked last time, I mean, it feels like a little creepy. It's like we didn't pass this many cars the first time, and we thought, are we going to the correct place? Is this going to take us over to the other side into North Carolina? We really didn't know. We've seen several people parked over on the sides, you know, in either taking photos or fishing or having a picnic. And one thing about Tennessee, we do wave at people. So if you see that and you think that's an oddity, just be aware that we are a pretty friendly state, so we do wave. But we're still going, so it's probably been, I don't know, another 5 minutes since the last one, and so it takes a little while to get to this particular trail. There's, if you see to the right again, you can see the mountain stream. This road just wraps along next to it, and it's just, the scenery is just so nice, and it's so peaceful. And once we get up here to the parking area, a lot of people, and I apologize for that, my truck is, man, we're getting beat to death by a bunch of potholes here. But when we get up to the parking area and stop, a lot of people just come up here and take pictures of the water, because there's a couple of small waterfalls right there in the next to the parking area. You can go up the trail just maybe, I don't know, not even a half mile, and get some very good pictures. So we'll try to get some of that when we get up here. So we'll turn it off now, and we'll catch back up here in a few minutes. All right, we are now pulling into the parking area, and as you can see, there are a lot of cars here. We're going to circle around and see if we can find a spot, and if not, we'll go back down. That's what I was concerned about, that we may have to go back down and then walk back up. So, but from our last video that we did, and our only video that we've done, that was the Turkey Pen Ridge trail. We did not see a single person. It was 7.2 miles round trip, and didn't see a single soul. And as you can tell, there are a lot more cars here. And so if you're concerned about going hiking and you don't want to be on a trail where there's nobody, this is definitely not the case. This one is very popular. A lot more people traveling this. So we're going to try to find a spot here to pull over. Luckily my truck is 4-wheel drive and has a little bit of clearance, so I can pull off to the side. I think my wife's going to have a hard time getting out, but let me back up just a little bit. And that may be good. Let me pull down a little bit here. Alright, we'll try this and see. So we'll catch back up here, and I'm gonna switch over to back over to the chest cam here in a minute, so when we get ready to hike, and then so you'll get it definitely from a different perspective. I can take these off. It's kind of cloudy right now. We're in the shade in the trees. So anyway, we'll catch back up in just a minute. All right, so here is the start of the trail, which I didn't realize until we got farther in that I had accidentally switched it over to photo instead of video. So you start at this bridge, but I'm gonna walk over here. So I thought I had some good footage, and I didn't. So anyway, as you can see, pretty decent waterfall, lots of water. Work my way back around real quick. So coming across the bridge over to the right, you can see what the water looks like. Back over to the left. Just a really cool area. And then just to walk right up here real quick to the sign, when you get up to the split, make sure that you do go to the left. Don't go to the right, go to your left, and that'll take you on to Middle Prong Trail. Just gonna go up here and record the sign real quick so that you can see. Quick glimpse of what the trail looks like on the way up as you start. But again, this is at the end of the hike, and I'll have to add this back into the front, so if you try to figure out what's going on with the editing, you'll know. But anyway. All right, well, I just realized that thought I was filming, videoing, and I switched it over to photo by accident, so a lot of what I said is not there. So we get back down back to the end, I'll film some more and edit it back in. But we just started the trail here. We've seen quite a few people hiking and fishing. Just wanted to mention that if you do decide to fish, make sure you go online and get the proper permit so that you don't get a ticket for some reason. They use that money to restock the streams to make sure there's ample fish supply. So anyway, we'll film a little bit more and kind of get you caught back up where we're at. And like I said, after we leave the parking area, I'll have to edit in some so that you can see what happened on my mistake. So, all right, so now that I have switched back to video instead of photo, just kind of give you an idea of what the trail looks like. Much wider. Definitely you can see some people up ahead. We've passed several. The trail that we did last week, the Turkey Pen Ridge, out of the 7 trails we've done so far, of course that was the first one that we filmed and definitely the only one we put on YouTube, but we didn't see anybody for 7.2 miles that whole trip. This one we've already passed a ton of people. There's some up in front of us, some behind us, a lot more popular. So this is the trail that I would recommend if you're starting out and you want to do one, because you can go as far as you want and just turn around. All right, so we haven't been walking for just a few minutes. As you can see, this is a pretty good view of the water. There is a bench up here that's been made if you want to take some time to rest. I would suggest using this one because I do believe this may be the last one and the only one. So, but definitely a good spot. Just another quick shot here. We're still not very far into the trail, so this is just such a good one that you can come in and not have to walk very far and get a lot of the scenery with the water. And the trail, you can see it gets a little rougher as we go through here, but still much better than some of the others that we've done. But just thought I'd give you a quick view on that to see what you can look forward to if you decide to hike this trail. But I would recommend it. This is by far, out of the ones we've done, I think this is the best one. Basically the same spot we were at, just a little bit different viewpoint, standing on a giant rock overlooking the area, trying not to fall in. Here's another spot, and we're still not even probably a half mile in yet. So just another perfect view here. Hopefully this shows up well on the video. I switched over from 4K to 1080. Still at the same spot, believe it or not, just a little different viewpoint on the river. Coming up on another section. I mean, we haven't walked but about 100 feet, and we're still next to the water. All right, let's try this one more time. I keep hitting it over to video, or from video to photo. But I did want to get this one. This is one of the better spots that I've seen, and we're still not even probably a half mile in yet. But I want to make sure you see this because it's pretty awesome. Come up to another spot here. Still not even a mile in. So I know at some point we get up here, there's not as much water. So just trying to enjoy as much of this as we can and kind of show you the viewpoint. So if you've got smaller kids, you could easily walk this without any issues and still come in and spend an hour or so, or even 30 minutes, and you're right here where there's a lot of scenery and water to enjoy. So we just passed a couple of military vets, and then I thank them for the service because they were in a well, it's something I've not seen before. It looked like an off-road wheelchair, basically. Had triangular tracks, almost looked like kind of what a tank would use, or a bulldozer. And if I can find one online, I'll try to insert a photo right now so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But I think that may be one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And the fact that these two gentlemen were up here and actually being able to get out into an area which they probably couldn't with a regular wheelchair, and they were fly fishing too. I just think that's awesome. So it's something that I have never seen before. I'm sure others have. I didn't want to film it or, you know, get them on camera, because a lot of people don't want to be on camera because they never know what the footage is going to be used for. But I will try to show you, because I've never seen that on one of these trails, and to me that is just absolutely awesome that they make something like that, that somebody was that smart that could design a vehicle that would allow people who normally may not be able to get up here and enjoy this scenery to give them that ability. So, you know, hats off to whoever invented that. But like I said, hopefully I got that video or that photo up there so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. All right, so just to give you an update, you'll come up to this big set of rocks at the 1 mile mark. So we're averaging about 28 miles. 28 minutes a mile. I'm already starting to fall apart. But anyway, we're taking a slower pace. But this is the rock formation. So if you don't have anything to measure your distance in, this is at 1 mile. All right, so just a little over a mile in. And as you can see, the terrain on the trail has started to change considerably. So a little rockier, but still not that horrible as long as you watch your step. But you can tell when it rains, this is definitely where the water flows. It's eroding out a lot of the dirt around these rocks, and that's what's making the path so rocky now. But anyway, just thought I'd give you a quick shot of that to let you know what you're getting into as you continue to hike on this trail. There's an old cable that's left over. I think this used to be an old logging road, and so there's some other things up here as we get to them that we'll stop and video. But that's just got one of the parts, if you can see it. All right, I'm gonna pose this question to anybody out there. Hopefully this comes in on video. It looks like it is. The last time we hiked, we saw several of these. This is like some kind of a hole in some of the rocks. And it's got like a weird formation to it. My assumption is that it was when they were probably blasting the rock when they made this path years and years ago for the log trail, and they were probably using explosives to clear out some of these larger boulders so that they could get through. And I'm assuming that may be some kind of a drill bit or a chisel that they were using to get through the rock in order to, I don't know, either chisel through the rocks themselves or plant like dynamite or something and to blow them up. But if anybody knows, please put it in the comments and let me know. Here's another one. I'm hoping that you can see this on the video, but there's just, we've seen a bunch of those. So if somebody knows, I'm just under the assumption that's what it is, but I'm sure somebody, hopefully, that watches this will know. And if you do, please comment and let me know. I would be curious to find out. Formation's blasting out of the way. I was thinking it's probably something similar to this. So I'm sure as they were making this trail that they had to clear a bunch of these. I'm gonna work my way down through here in hopes that there's nothing down here that might try to get me. But Just another pretty good view of the river and the tunnel that I just came through. I'll probably head up back this way. Get a photo of that real quick. You're like, how many photos can this guy take? The answer is a lot. I like it a lot. All right, I'm gonna head back up this way. So we'll try. If I'd have known this is probably the easier way to go, but the footage was a little bit better going through that. Look like I'm on some kind of a spelunking expedition, when actually I'm not. There's a cool little waterfall from the runoff from when it rains. Not a very big one, but kind of neat to see. We're still here next to the water. Probably not even a mile and a half at this point. Well, here's our first obstacle so far on this path. This was definitely not here the last time we hiked it earlier this year. I would assume this fell fairly recently with one of the thunderstorms that we've been having. The weather here has been extremely hot, and so we've had a lot of pop-up thunderstorms. So let's try to maneuver over this without hurting ourselves. So I'm sure the Park Service, they'll get this cleaned up at some point, but they're probably having a really hard time keeping up right now with all the trails and all the fallen trees. But just another reminder that when you are hiking, make sure to watch the weather conditions for that day, especially if you're gonna head out after lunch in the late afternoons. That's when the thunderstorms tend to pop up on you. So you definitely don't want to be caught out in one of those. Just too many chances of a tree falling over, which there have been reported deaths of that, unfortunately, in this area, and lightning strikes, and even flash flooding. So just be very careful, because this water looks very peaceful now, but with enough rain in a short period of time, it can become very, very dangerous. So, Rich, how far are we at right now on your watch? 1.4 miles in, and you're gonna come up to this little bridge. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty wet through here, so this is where all the rain's going, taking the path of least resistance, and this is it. But you got this old bridge, which is pretty cool. Little stream that goes underneath it. Tell this was built quite a long time ago. I'm sure it's been maintained, because it wouldn't last that long otherwise. But anyway, pretty cool. Alright, well, there's the old Ford that was left. Rich, how far are we in on the miles now? 1.7 miles, and I'll show you the trail to come up here in just a second. I wanted to, it's a little grown up now, but we came earlier for all the greenery, and as you can see, there's a lot of these pieces of plates that are left over. So whoever was up here originally, people found them here in the, off in the distance, and they've put them up here on the log. And I don't know if you can see it, there's an old barrel back there. I think there's another log somewhere, it's got more pottery on it. I'm assuming most of it has probably fallen off for the fact that just all the wind and the rain from the storms that we've had. But as you can see, here's some of the broken pottery from the dishes and glasses that were up here, which is pretty cool. And then the fact that this old car was left. But here in just a second, I'll flash back and show the path that we came in on. I wasn't 100% sure if that was it or not, because I didn't know how far in that it was when we got here. And there's a couple of gentlemen over there taking a break right now and eating, and I didn't want to disturb them with talking on the video. So, but anyway, that's pretty cool. That's one of the stops I was going to recommend, just so that you can view it for yourself. Nothing exciting, but it's kind of weird to see a car out in the middle of the woods like this. So I'll show you the beginning of the trail here in just a second. Alright, so here's the trail to the old car we just looked at. When you're coming up the path here, it's not much, but kind of keep your eye. It's at 1.72 miles according to our tracker. And you just go right up over the hill and the car's there. So just something to look for. Gives you another point of reference, and just something you don't see every day, at least not this far in the woods. Alright, just to give you a better view of what this looks like as you come up over the hill. We were just waiting until some people left. We didn't want to put them on camera. I don't like being on camera, I'm sure they don't. But anyway, you come up here to the top of this trail. This is where you can see the old Ford that I just took some pictures of. Pretty cool. Hate that the tree fell on it, but still a pretty good little sight. Just a quick update. We did not actually make it up to Indian Falls. We made it up to where the old Ford truck was at, and my wife started getting vertigo very badly, and so we had to turn around and come back, and actually it got pretty serious. I didn't know how we were going to make it out. Fortunately, we had a couple of wonderful ladies that stopped by to check on us. One of them had some ginger chews in her backpack for motion sickness, which helped a lot. So thank you both. If you happen to watch this, thank you so much for that. And thank you for taking the time to stop and actually check on us. We appreciate it.